You were chosen to break patterns nobody else could break. That is why your life feels different. That is why your thinking feels different. That is why you often feel disconnected from certain behaviors, mindsets, and cycles that everybody around you accepted as normal. You noticed it early: the anger, the dysfunction, the emotional chaos, the repeated mistakes passing from one person to another like inheritance. And somewhere deep inside, you made a decision. This cannot continue with me. That decision matters more than we realize. Many people repeat destructive patterns simply because they became familiar. Nobody questioned them, nobody challenged them, nobody healed from them. But you started noticing the damage. You started seeing where certain paths actually lead. You started realizing that pain keeps reproducing itself when nobody interrupts it. That awareness changed you. Maybe that's why you always felt different from the environment around you. Not superior, different. While others normalized toxicity, you questioned it. While others normalized emotional instability, you became tired of it. While others kept repeating harmful cycles, you quietly started researching for peace, understanding, and growth. That search was not random. Moses was chosen to lead people out of bondage. But notice something important. Before freedom came, there had to be somebody willing to break away from what everybody else accepted for generations. That is what your life is beginning to represent: interruption, change, a different direction. And that responsibility is not easy. Breaking patterns sounds beautiful until you realize how lonely it can feel sometimes. People become uncomfortable when you stop participating in unhealthy cycles, when you stop reacting the same way, when you stop thinking the same way, when you stop accepting what everybody else normalized. Suddenly you become different, too quiet, too reflective, too distant, too serious about protecting your peace. But they do not understand what you have already seen. You have seen where those cycles lead. You have seen the emotional damage, the broken relationships, the exhaustion, the regret. So now you move carefully, not out of arrogance, out of awareness. And truthfully, part of you became tired of watching generations suffer from the exact same wounds without anybody truly healing them. That changes a person. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Notice the wording carefully. Pattern. The Bible itself recognizes that destructive patterns exist: emotional patterns, behavioral patterns, ways of thinking that quietly keep people trapped. Your growth began the moment you stopped blindly following those patterns. The moment you started questioning, why does this keep happening? Why does everybody keep ending up ahead? Why do these cycles repeat over and over? Those questions opened something inside you. And now your path feels different because your mindset became different. You no longer want survival alone, you want healing, peace, meaning, wisdom. That shift is powerful. But understand this clearly: breaking patterns is uncomfortable work. You will disappoint people who benefited from the old version of you. You will confuse people who expected you to continue tolerating unhealthy behavior. You will outgrow environments that once felt familiar. That is part of the process. And sometimes you question yourself during this journey. Sometimes you wonder, am I changing too much? No, you are becoming more aware. There is a difference. Awareness changes everything. Once you truly see dysfunction clearly, it becomes difficult to keep participating in it comfortably. That is why your tolerance changed. That is why your boundaries changed. That is why your energy changed. You are no longer emotionally available for cycles that destroy people slowly. And yes, the journey can feel isolating at times. Growth often separates you from environments that no longer align with where your life is heading. But never mistake isolation for failure. Sometimes separation is necessary before transformation becomes complete. You were not chosen to repeat every cycle you inherited. You were chosen to interrupt them, to think differently, to move differently, and to build differently. That assignment is difficult, but it is also powerful. You were chosen to break patterns nobody else could break. And one day, the peace you fought to create will become the very thing that changes everything connected to your future.